The National Democratic Convention over in Chicago, and a big show. No Beyonce, though, despite rumors, but a lot of excitement, a lot of production, a lot of featured guests. But what was happening outside? We got protests, and we've got even some Republicans that were hitting the streets trolling the DNC. That's just some of what was going on. To talk about what he saw on the ground, joining us by phone is independent Chicago reporter William Kelly. William, thanks for taking time with us this morning. We didn't get a chance to connect while I was in Chicago, just extremely busy all over the place, but glad that we're able to connect now. Give us your thoughts. How was the DNC?
Oof. Well, God bless you, Greg. And, we've survived yet another massive crime, another massive lie. 75 million tax dollars were spent on security for the DNC. And what I haven't really heard anyone say out loud, certainly in the mainstream media, is that a total of 76 Chicagoans were shot during the DNC week. A total homicide, deaths, killed, the fatalities, 20 people died. Okay. But I don't know if you've been hearing the applause all the way down in Springfield, but Mayor Johnson has been taking victory laps around town, around and around and around, saying that Chicago is the safest city, has now been proven to be the safest city in the world, when the statistics show that Chicago is the murder capital of the country. Greg?
William, clearly, the initial stories were that businesses were going to have a great time with the DNC, but then as we heard getting closer to the DNC, a lot of businesses were worried they were being squeezed out during the 4 days. Even had some businesses went ahead and boarded up their facilities. What did you hear from businesses? Was it a good week or a slow week?
Well, downtown businesses haven't recovered from the lockdown looting of 2020. I suppose, hope springs eternal, at least in the handful of businesses that are still operating in downtown Chicago. I don't know if you had a chance to do kind of a drive around even the block or two that Chicago City Hall is on. The most, in my opinion, growing up anyway in Chicago, the highest, most high-status real estate for anyone to have an office or a business. LaSalle Street, right? Chicago's Wall Street. I'm shocked to this day to see back-to-back vacancies. Okay, street-level vacancies of real estate that used to be considered if you were an attorney, if you were in financial or even retail or anything. But, so any convention in theory is good business, right? If nothing else, somebody runs out and buys a sandwich from you, right? Well, apparently there was none of that during the DNC. In fact, many businesses told their employees to stay home. Okay, many businesses boarded up, I guess, if you're in the plywood business, one party rule is actually somehow good for you. But the truth of the matter is that restaurants, straight up, and you would think, Greg, that restaurants would be the big winners here, that everyone from all over the country, all of these delegates would come to Chicago, and boy, oh boy, they can't wait to get out and enjoy the Chicago restaurants. Well, supposedly, according to all accounts, according to just firsthand accounts from restaurant owners, that it was a ghost town. It cost them, 60 to 70% of their lunch business, these fences, oddly, that were put up to keep protesters out. Also, although Democrats say that fences don't work on the border, bizarrely, but yet we had, 3 level high security fences around the water tower, in downtown Chicago, which is like 5 miles from the actual convention site, convention United Center. But these walls or fences that the Democrats put up to keep.
William, I think we losing your signal a bit there. Are you still with us? William Kelly, still with us? Oh, it looks like we lost his signal. That's what you get for having a live conversation here with Illinois in Focus Daily. We'll see if we can connect with him again here. Let me just pull this up and give it a call because it's good to hear his perspective. And if you follow William on social media, you saw some of his on the street reporting and how he approached a variety of Democrat officials going into the convention hall. William, you back with us?
I am indeed. Sorry.
Right.
God bless you.
No sweat. No, it's live radio here. So talk a bit about the conversations you had with individuals who were heading into the convention. I think you approached James Carville in one instance.
Well, interestingly, it was completely random, like most of the things that happened to me, Greg. I was, just walking along the security fences, getting footage of, what, as a lifelong Chicagoan, someone who loves Chicago with all of his heart, breaks my heart, Greg, again and again and again. I don't know how my heart keeps beating here. We have, these security fences around the water tower, and I'm talking about, the historic water tower, and not the empty, shopping center, but the historic water tower, which you would think that's the whole point of why people would come to Chicago for a convention, was be so that they could go see the water tower. But at any rate, I'm walking around the water tower, getting footage of the fences upon fences upon fences. And who do I bump into but James Carville? And I'm walking, talking to James, and he's mad at me, telling me that crime is down in Chicago, when the fact of the matter is that 76 people were shot during convention week. 30 people were just shot over the weekend. And yet he was telling me that he felt safe. Well, of course he did, Greg. He's behind three high security fences as he ducks into RL for lunch.
William, the other story on the street was protests. And Monday night, there were some protesters, but it seemed that Tuesday night was where there was a heavy amount of protesters and even clashes with police. Talk a bit about that. Were police, did they handle that appropriately? Was the protests, did they turn out as much as maybe was led to believe leading into the convention? How did that all play out?
Well, as anyone who knows me knows, I never consider the police to be the problem. If anything, it's the Cook County State's Attorney, the Cook County Sheriff, who are all too eager to support, follow Governor Pritzker's no cash bail Safety Act law. They're the ones who are the problem. I guess you could throw the judges in there too, by the way, bizarrely, in Cook County. But no, it's not. The police have never been the problem in Chicago. Let's get that, in my opinion, okay? But what was a little, I think, interesting, I guess, if you really want a unique headline out of the DNC, is that it was predicted that there would be 100,000 protesters, and Mayor Johnson, who considers himself to be a protester, said that he had the cell phone numbers of the protest organizers. He contacted them, and deals were made. So, I walked up to Superintendent Snelling, who by all counts is a great guy, and I can attest he's been very open and fair with me. And I interviewed him on Michigan Avenue, and I asked him what deals has the mayor cut with the protesters, and do any of them involve stand-down orders for the CPD? And Superintendent Snelling, and I have this all on camera, obviously, at William J. Kelly on X if you want to check it out, would not answer the question. We can only suspect that the reason why the protests did not go away the way they were predicted was because of deals that were cut. Now, Greg, somebody might say, oh, isn't that great? The mayor of Chicago cut deals with protesters not to protest. Well, sends a little bit of a chill up my spine, having survived 2020 and seen the lockdowns and the looting of 2020. If a mayor can cut deals, if a Democrat, if an elected official can cut deals with protesters not to protest, he or she can also cut deals to flip the switch to have them protest, Greg. So this is I don't know. Pick your poison.
William Kelly, independent reporter in Chicago. Always appreciate hearing your perspective, and we'll definitely connect again in the near future to talk about the election and what you're hearing on the ground in Chicago and so much more. So be safe out there, all right?
God bless you, Greg. Thank you.
All right, Illinois in Focus Daily. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell each and every weekday morning here with America's Talking Network.